very warm welcome back, everybody. This session is very close to so many of us. And again, I fall short of words when I introduce our session chairman, Dr. Sudarshan Kamal. He's the Chief Controller of Explosives. And may I now request Mr. Sunil Mathur to kindly welcome Dr. Kamal on the stage. Mr. Mathur, the Executive Director of Indian Oil for Rajasthan State Office. Thank you, Mathur Sahab. Over to you, sir. Thank you, Dr.
PESO officials, ladies and gentlemen, very good evening to everyone. A lot has been talked about the safety in the hydrocarbon industry in last 2 days. We had 3 panel discussions and we had 4 presentations till now. Deliberations were really very fruitful, and I believe every one of us will return home with more knowledge, with some additional knowledge, and with a good message of the safety to home. And we will share the knowledge with people who could not come here in this conference. Now this is a valedictory session. Everyone must be preparing to return home. But before that, I just want to repeat the lines told by Mr. K. Satyanarayana. He said, if head of the organization decides that no accident will happen in his factory, then he was very sure that no accident will happen. So it's a very good thing that if we decide that nothing will happen and we take necessary measures to prevent that, then nothing should happen, nothing will happen there. But how? How we will achieve this? We will achieve this only with the strong safety culture. We will have to inculcate the strong safety culture in the organization. Then only we can achieve this goal of zero accident. In this matter, I just would like to give you 2 examples. In one example, one CEO of a company had gone to the floor shop to give a safety briefing to his employees. He was not wearing a helmet. One of his employees, he pointed out, sir, you are not with the helmet. You see here, the employee, a very junior employee, he has the courage to point out to his boss that, sir, you are not following the safety norms. And second example, where one senior officer, the factory manager, he was not able to sort out some safety issues. So he, he tried his best, but he could not find a solution. So he had gone to a junior employee. Though he was a junior, but he was having a good experience. So he had gone to him and he discussed the problem with him. And that junior employee, he could give a solution to him. And the factory manager, he was very happy. Here, in this second example, you will find that the senior officer, that factory manager, is not having any fear of damage to his reputation. So in both the examples, we see that the junior officer has the courage to point out the safety issues, safety lapse by his officer. And in the second example, we see that the senior officer does not having any fear of damage to his reputation. So when these type of things are there in the industry, then I'm sure that that company will have a strong safety culture. Yesterday, Lal Saab had pointed out one thing, that when he was in the BPCL refinery, he was a junior officer there, he pointed out the safety lapse to his boss, and the boss had taken it in a very positive way. So when these things are there in the industry, that means the industry has a strong safety culture. So we can achieve what we want by conducting such seminars or conferences. For this, the important thing is we should have the strong safety culture. All the employees are well educated, and from time to time this safety trainings are being imparted to them, but it should be such a strong, it should be in their DNA, in their safety culture, that nothing will happen. This is out of the context actually. So now this is the valedictory session. And in this session, we will discuss something different from what we have talked about the safety in last 2 days. This is for the benefit of the society in which the factory is situated, in which we are living. The concept of the responsibility, you must have understood what we want to say. This is regarding the corporate social responsibilities. So the concept of the responsibility toward the society is actually, this is not a new concept in the Indian context. There are so many business houses in our country. They had done a lot of charity work in the past. Though they lived their life in an economic way, they did not spend much. They saved the money, and they spent the saved money for the benefit of the society. They had constructed hospitals, dharmshalas, schools, colleges, so many charity work they have done. So because of that, society is benefited. Their main objective is returning back to the society. This is their main objective. So now in this modern time, we have given it a name, corporate social responsibility. UNIDO has defined the corporate social responsibility as a management concept whereby companies integrate social and environmental concerns in their business operations and interactions with their stakeholders. CSR is a way in which the companies achieve a balance of economic, environmental and social imperatives. So this corporate social responsibility is throughout the world. Friends, oil and gas industry is facing the environmental risk, health risk, safety risk, and liability risk, and ultimately the reputational risk. So reputation is the last risk which they face. Actually, we earn the reputation by doing good work over a period of time. It may take 10 years, it may take 20, 30 years. But to ruin the reputation, it just takes 5 minutes. It does not take much time. So oil and gas industry, by doing good work, they earn so much money and they expand, and they grow. And then when some incident happens, a small incident happens, because of that some disaster happens in their company, so it ruins that complete organization. Warren Buffett had also once said that you take 20 years to build reputation and it takes just 5 minutes to ruin. The exploration and production of the oil and gas is often technically challenging. Oil and gas producers tap into unseen pressurized underground petroleum resources and try to extract those resources safely from the ground. And once this petroleum is extracted from the ground, it is transported through a pressurized pipeline or through the ocean-going vessels to the destination, that is the refinery. And in the refinery, this crude oil, this is subjected to high pressure and temperature, and so many finished products are prepared out of that. And these finished products are then again transported through the pipelines or through road tankers or through railway wagon or by other means to the end user's place. During this process, there are many stages like transporting from that well to the refinery, and then from refinery to the end user's place. All these stages, there is a chance of the human error. And when any human error takes place, there is a chance of accident, human error. So we have to avoid this human error throughout the chain, like from the upstream, midstream to downstream. On the one hand, the availability of the inexpensive fossil fuel has driven the economic growth for more than a century, enabling people to achieve higher standards of living. And on the other hand, the oil and gas production imposes significant cost on the society, costs. That includes air pollution, oil spills, injuries, and deaths. It is also sometimes associated with the social dislocation and conflict. Indeed, these phenomena are sufficiently common that scholars speak of the oil curse. The notion that some people have that presence of the oil wealth in a nation can do more harm than the good. Therefore, the people in the surrounding of the oil installations, they expect more from the oil industry. They feel that in their area, oil industry is doing some hazardous operations. Because of that, the community is suffering. So they should be compensated in some way. So they have more expectation from the oil industry. Regarding this corporate social responsibilities, government had made amendment in the Companies Act in 2013. So as per that, the companies whose net worth is 500 crore rupees or turnover 1000 crore rupees or net profit is 5 crore rupees. All these stakeholders should part with their 2% of the net profit for the benefit of the society. This is the law, and all the companies are following it. They have to follow it for the benefit of the society. And they are supposed to spend for the education, healthcare, skill development, environment and community development, safe drinking water, development of socially and economically backward groups of the society, and for the environment sustainability, contribution to Prime Minister Relief Fund, rural development. Likewise, there are so many other heads in which the company can invest. So in this matter, we have gathered here and this valedictory session to interact with the 5 eminent panelists. So I would like to know from them about activities their organizations are doing for the benefit of the society, and what responses they are getting from the society and what challenges they are facing. So in this respect, I would like to know from each panelist. But before that, I would like to introduce my all 5 panelists here. Shri Y.K. Gupta, he is Executive Director, LPG in the Indian Oil. He is civil engineer. His exceptional skill is driving motivated teams towards achieving their organizational goals. And he has got 3 decades of experience in aviation, retail, consumer sales, LPG. I mean, in the all fields of the oil industry, he has a very rich experience. And he has successfully promoted the Give It Up campaign of the Government of India. It's a flagship event of the government. And he is also very much associated with the Ujjwala Yojana. Rather, he has conceptualized that. And the other panelist is Mr. Arun Kumar Singh. He is my old friend. He is known to me for a long time. He is Executive Director LPG in Bharat Petroleum. He is BSc Mechanical. He was in the pipelines also earlier. Recently, he was the President Bharat Petroleum Resource Limited. It's a BPCL subsidiary. He headed Supply Chain Organizations Department, integrating refinery, production, planning, and market demand. He has worked long in the distribution operations, sales, and engineering. He has got total 31 years of experience in the oil and gas industry. Apart from this, he also has good knowledge of the management. He had given management lessons many times, and once I was also there, I was also benefited from his management lectures. I had attended about a week course in the BPCL at Mumbai. And my next panelist is Mr. Ajit Singh. He is Executive Director, LPG HPCL. He is a graduate in Mechanical Engineering from HBTI Kanpur. He has experience in marketing, coordination and strategy formulation of his company. He has vast experience as a regional head, and he has held several portfolios in this company. He has successfully implemented the Pahal scheme in his company. And he has He held many responsibilities and roles in his company. Next panelist is Mr. Ajay Kumar. He is the Chief Executive Officer in SHV Energy Private Limited. He is an electrical engineer. His expertise area is operations in projects, general management. And he has got 35 years of experience in the oil industry. Earlier he was with the Hindustan Petroleum, then he joined the SHV. And his achievements are setting up of the LPG import facilities at Mangalore, Vizag and Porbandar. And he has also set up facilities from greenfield states in the SHV Energy. And my last panelist is from Total France. He graduated from French Business School in 1986. He was in charge of the network development of a major French airport before joining the Total Group. During the next 2 decades, he built a strong downstream petroleum business experience working in various positions in the Africa and France. And his roles included regional sales manager, executive vice president, sales country manager, and managing director. He took over as head of the corporate CSR, social business and local societal initiatives for Africa and Middle East. And thereafter also he was given greater responsibility for the social responsibility, corporate social responsibility, and he has done a lot of work for the, for the society outside India. So let us hear from all the panelists about their experiences, about their responses from the societies, and what challenges they have faced.
Thank you, Doctor. And thank you very much for having me in this panel. And thank you for these 2 days. It was very interesting for me to hear all these very valuable interventions. I think in the room, there are some HAC experts and also some what I call operational people into operations, logistics, marketing, etc. And sometimes it's not easy to make all the different functions of a subsidiary or an entity or a company work together. And sometimes the HAC experts, they feel lonely because they feel like they are experts and they feel like they know how to go about safety, and they want to convince their colleagues. And their colleagues, they have so much on their plate, and you have to convince them to take the ramp, put a helmet, put the seatbelt, and respect all the rules about safety. So what I'm going to try to do is tell you what CSR is for Total Marketing and Service, and also how it can be useful to convince everybody to work on safety on a day-to-day basis. So the Total branch is very varied. It's about 200 entities over more than 100 countries. Thank you. It's number 1 marketer in Western Europe and in Africa, and it's over 30,000 staff all over the world. So how do you make all these people work together on CSR and safety? This is what we call sustainable development for a typical Total affiliate. The inputs, it's about sustainable purchasing. Then what happens in and around our sites, that's what we call societal and societal initiatives. And then what we call sustainable marketing, that's allowing our clients, also our customers, to reduce their own impacts and their own CO2 emissions. So we're going to concentrate on the blue circle in the middle. The blue circle in the middle is about societal. And as I said, we're trying to keep things simple so that we all share within the company the same vision and the same definition of CSR. For Total, the definition of CSR is a rule. It's a company rule. And we have 4 items. Number 1 item is everywhere we do business, we dialogue with our stakeholders. When we make these kind of commitments, we have to make the relevant tools available and to make the relevant assistance available to the non-experts everywhere in the world, and that's partly what I do. Responsibility is about being a good neighbor. Any industrial activity has negative impacts. You HSE experts and you operational people working every day very hard to reduce these risks. We want to know whether this is perceived by our stakeholders. So once again, it's very team building from time to time to go see the stakeholders, item number 1, dialogue, and say, okay, how do you see me do my business? Do you see all the efforts that I do? Can I do better? Then development, human, social, economic development, is about having, optimizing our positive impact. As an industry, as a business company, we do have positive impacts. We employ people, we contract other companies, small, medium companies, so we do have a positive impact. How do we enhance this positive impact? How do we share, as Vice President Shashi would say, our know-how with third parties, with the host communities? And last but not least is access to energy, because Total's job is about energy. So it was said earlier in the panels that LPG can help enlarge the access to energy, in particular towards the bottom of the pyramid. So we feel our responsibility as an energy provider is to enlarge the access to energy as much as possible. So these 4 items are the societal policy of the Total Group. It leads us to societal initiatives locally. And I must say, Total Oil India is one of our best in class because they do address all these subjects. They do go through dialogue on a local basis around all our sites to cover the 4 items that we just said. How do we dialogue? How do we enhance our positive impacts and manage our negative impacts? And what is our contribution to the local economy? And then it leads them to carrying out very interesting initiatives for education and training through, of course, corporate, the implementation of corporate agreements, but also locally, very locally, with small schools. Road safety, it was said that we've been working with our partners and contractors with road safety for a very, very long time, but we also work towards the schools and the students and the young people, because it takes 2 to avoid an accident. It's not just about us, it's about third parties as well. Economic development, there are several initiatives towards local economic developments around our sites and access to energy. We have, of course, corporate projects like making available lamps, solar lamps to bottom of pyramid in 40 countries, and India is part of this program, but also very local initiatives about lighting, about infrastructures in villages. To conclude, I would like to push through 3 key messages. The number 1 message is that it's not an expert job, and as it has been said, it's about human beings, and it's about how do we convince our colleagues on a day-to-day basis that it is worth it. Number 2, when I was in charge of a business unit in Africa, I knew why I was respecting all these rules and why I would say that everything that we do for road safety, in particular, is worth it. And that's because one day, one of my salesmen came back to me, and he was shaking. And he said, I nearly killed a very small girl in a village that I was going through. And the reason why I did not kill her, because I stopped like 10 centimeters before I would hit her, is because we did all these courses about defensive driving and being careful and slowing down and things like that. So I know one life that the societal policy of the group has saved, and it is this girl. And I think it values anything that we can do year after year. And once again, it's about us experts trying to find the right motivation for all the other colleagues in their various jobs, marketing, operations, logistics, to apply on a day-to-day basis the safety measures, standards, and obligations. And last but not least, I do recommend that we engage our stakeholders everywhere. It has been said that engaging our staff, engaging our contractors, engaging the local communities, provided it's professional and it's about our activities and it's not about a shopping list or anything like that, but it's about the way they see us do our business. As Doctor was saying, it takes 20 years to build a reputation, 5 minutes to lose it. So engaging our stakeholders is really the key to the societal policy in the Total Group. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Nicholas, for informing us about your activities of your company. Now I would request Mr. Ajay Kumar, CEO of the SHV Energy, to share his experiences with us.
I am very, very happy to be part of this session because this session is not about volumes, this is not about margins, or this is not about profitability. And this is more about the heart. Whether you have a heart, whether your organization has a heart, or people in the organization, they have a heart. And whether that heart is beating for the communities around you. So that way I find this session very, very important. SHV is a 120-year-old organization globally and 20 years in India. And SHV has always connect with the communities in the locations, in the countries, wherever it is present. In today's scenario, I think financial resources or contribution of financial resources to corporate social responsibility is like a statutory obligation. So it's not a choice. So every company, every corporate, because of statutory obligations, they have to contribute 2% of their profits. But I think that's the easiest part in corporate social responsibility. Cutting a check is always the easiest part. I think the difficult part is to ensure whether the contribution made by the organizations are really reaching to the purpose for where the resources are allocated, and whether the people of the organization are contributing towards this objective. In SHV, we try to ensure that our more and more colleagues are directly involved in this corporate social responsibility initiatives. And I think it has immense benefits. In SHV, all the CSR activities are routed through Supergas Foundation. Supergas Foundation is managed by the employees of the Supergas. Like Supergas Foundation, they have an aim to impact communities. They want to impact employees. They want to, of course, impact Supergas and also the partners. Now, by saying communities, they really want to focus on few areas. One is education of young children who do not have easy access to education. And they also want to focus on health and hygiene. Employees, they want to involve employees as much as possible, because employees, once they involve in these activities, they have a great sense of satisfaction. And of course, for the company, it's a obligation, statutory obligation, but I think it also brings a lot of goodwill in the market. Like when I say education, it is about providing the infrastructure, providing the employees to bring up the children, bring up the teachers, their education standards. And again, when I talk of health, it is about health in the villages which are around our locations, filling plants or terminals. And it is also about health of our customers, especially like in auto gas stations where a lot of our auto rickshaw driver comes and they don't have easy access to health facilities. So we take that opportunity to provide them access to good health. And hygiene is all about education or providing infrastructure like drinking waters in the school, toilet facilities in the school. And of course, contribution is also there towards natural calamity whenever it happens by a contribution to relief funds. Like the major contribution of SHV India happened in 2006 when it constructed a school in Hyderabad. This school is today managed by an NGO called CORD, and it is about rescuing child labor, like children who are not going to the schools, but they are working as a laborer in various trades. So this organization brings the children to the school, provide them accommodation, provide them basic education, and see to it that they become a responsible citizen. I will just show some pictures of jobs which have been done by SHV in India, and most of them are in the schools. It could be like providing a security to the children by providing a compound wall to the school, or drinking water facility, or other amenities, or providing the furniture in the schools, or fans, or bringing up the capability of the teachers. Hygiene, what we also do, we go to girls' schools, and our women employees, they try to impart education on women health care, personal health care, and we also provide them personal health care products. And as I mentioned before, health is about more medical camps in the schools or in the villages around our locations, organizing medical camps or cancer camps, similar activities. What we have also tried to do, we have adopted a lot of children from the schools, like blind schools, or physically challenged children's schools, or autistic children's schools. And idea is to adopt them and support them till they pass out from the school. So idea is to give them support throughout their school days, schooling time. And of course, as I mentioned, a contribution to natural calamity relief as and when there is an opportunity. And we have again taken an initiative to construct another school in Hyderabad, which was commissioned last year. And this school is basically for providing the skills to the children. Like children, when they pass out from school, sometimes they don't have skills to get the employment. And this school is about giving them necessary skills so they can get easily employed and become more responsible citizens. In Hyderabad, we also have a consortium where most of the corporates like ACC, ITC, or ICRISAT, they join each other, they share knowledge about corporate social responsibility, they share the best practices, and also sometimes take joint efforts in achieving this objective. So CSR is not, as I say, merely cutting a check or giving the financial resources. I think it is more coming from the heart, more involvement, personal involvement of the people, and achieving the desired objective. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ajay Kumar. We are happy to note that your company is keeping the interest of the society in heart of the company. It's a very good thing, and very happy to note that your company is helping the society to grow in terms of the education. By imparting the education to the society, it's a very noble job for the society, so that more and more people will be educated, and our nation will grow. And taking care of the society in terms of the health, hygiene, and your company have also contributed significantly in the event of the natural calamity also. Thank you very much for sharing the information of your company with the August gathering.
Thank you.
Mr. Nicholas and Mr. Ajay Kumar have to board the flight. They are in hurry, so I would like to honor them first. Now I request Mr. Y.K. Gupta to inform us about the initiatives taken by his company. Okay.
A very good afternoon to all of you. Dr. Komal, officials of PESO, senior colleagues of the industry, ladies and gentlemen, a very good afternoon to all of you from Indian Oil, from Y.K. Gupta, myself. The topic, in fact, I think for last 2 days, we have been, yesterday and today, till now we have been discussing about the business. And I think it's one of the best topic which has been given, making a difference beyond commerce. A very appropriate thing. I'm very thoughtful of Dr. Kamal that this particular thing has been kept in the end, and it needs a bit of a focus from all of us. And I'll just share a few of the things and very briefly as to what as oil industry as well as in Indian Oil what we are doing, what we have done so far to get ourselves connected with the society, because that is what is the business is meant for. I'll just share a few things with every one of you. This is a mission which we have in Indian Oil as far as the sustainability and CSR is concerned. That we operate all our activities in providing energy solutions to the customers in a manner that is efficient, safe, and ethical, which minimizes the negative impact on the environment and enhances quality of life of the community towards sustaining a holistic business. That's what I said, that this is a very appropriate topic which has been chosen in the fag end of the session, fag end of the 2 days program. Well, the thrust areas which we take in our organization or what we had adopted are these 6, but nevertheless, what basically is more important to us is the basic livelihood needs and societal empowerment, which we have just, in fact, my fellow colleagues, Mr. Ajay, as well as the colleague from France, he has discussed that making energy accessible to one and all, that's number 1. And number 2, whatever we do it with the heart. And that is where from the CSR concept comes, getting ourselves connected with the society. Now, in this particular thing, as we know, this is as per the rulings or the acts from the government of India as well, that there are certain things which are to be done, and this is how we also have adopted, and that is how the vision, that vision was adopted not today. This we have been maintaining this particular vision for quite some time. If you can see it from here, see earlier, good old days, the budget used to be very, very limited. Limited in the sense it was happening from 0.5% of the net profit, which now has come to 2% of the average net profit of 3 years. So this is the C difference which has come. And as you can see, I'm saying for last 22 years, we in Indian Oil have spent or utilized around 87% of the budgeted amount to the tune of over 1,000 crores. And more so, you will see that maximum of the work has been done in last 3-4 years, where you can see that in last 3 years, we have spent around 352 crores of rupees. And if we observe from here, you'll see that the maximum, it is not that only in one segment we have tried to go. We have tried to get connected with people, attached with people in all segments of life, be it healthcare, sanitation, be it the education and the skill, be it the drinking water. And now, since we are from the oil industry, let me share that we all 3 are sitting here, and many upstream and downstream oil companies also share to MOPNG with regard to, providing clean fuel to the households, poor families. So far, in last 3-4 years, we have provided about 70 lakh gas connections under this scheme. On industry basis, I'm talking this number as industry basis because once we are talking of MOPNG, I'm talking of alone Indian Oil has provided over 32 lakh of LPG gas connections to BPL families, and industry basis, we have provided around 70 lakh gas connections. And under the Swachh Vidyalaya Abhiyan, which basically was started last year, in fact, last year when it was started, and more activities were done towards the eastern part of the country, you can see around 3,000 toilets have been provided under the Swachh Vidyalaya Abhiyan in the schools, specifically for the girls students. This is a particular step which basically not only Indian Oil, I'll say the entire oil industry had come forward, and a lot of activities, many things have been done on this particular thing. And many of the things, in fact, we took help from the state government. Some part we did ourselves, and this is how, and these are all sustainable. That's why the word what I used in the beginning itself, it's the sustainability and CSR. That all these activities are being sustained on a regular basis. It's not a number game, it's a real thing which has been done. And it is a process which continues on month-to-month basis, year-to-year basis. Then, as far as the health part is concerned, I'll share with you that in addition to what we are doing as regular blood donation camps, eye checking on various retail outlets, in various terminals, and in our locations and everything, all type of things, whatever we are doing. In addition to that, we have hospitals as well in our refineries, as well as outside refineries. This particular thing, as you see, Assam oil division hospital is basically is as old as, now it is crossed around 110 years. And it is still functioning very, very well, very, very effectively. And it has a strength of about 111 people with 19 doctors, nurses, staff, and everything. And it is not that it is only serving to the need of all the employees, rather all in and around area basically is dependent on this particular hospital. And that is basically, we don't call it CSR. This is beyond CSR, that these type of activities which we are undertaking in our organization. Then we have a Swan Jayanti Samudik hospital at Mathura, which is again outside the premises of the refinery, and it is for the general public. It is for the public who reside nearby, and all type of services here also are provided. And so far last year in 15-16, we had treated about 52,660 patients, and cumulatively so far, right from the day of opening of this hospital in 1999, over 8 lakh of patients have been treated from this hospital. Then as far as the education part is concerned, while we keep contributing for construction of school rooms, schools, or some laboratories, or some, giving some digital, empowering the digital thing, and providing certain PCs and other things in the schools. In addition to that, what we have is something which is again I'll say sustainable, is that we have a College of Nursing in Digboy. Here what we do is, we provide diploma in general nursing and midwifery, and as well as a BSc nursing. We provide these particular degrees to the women students. And in this particular thing, it is a 4-year course program, 4-year and 5-year program. And you can see that the type of stipend and type of thing which we give, and the placement of these girls so far had been 100%. And this is a real social service which we are trying to do. But nevertheless, it's not a question of just narrating in front of you. It's a service which is coming from the heart. What Mr. Ajay said, that we normally are doing such type of activities in our different forums of life in different colleges and different schools. Similarly, in Digboy, we have an industrial training center as well, where again, what we are doing is that we have few seats for fitters, welders, electricians, then turners, and like that, different type of things, and trainings are being imparted, and those are being given, stipend, as well as their, whatever the education part they have, we are giving all these type of things. And in addition to that, it's my privilege to share with you that in May 2016, we have, on industry basis, we have started one institution, that is a skill development institution in Bhubaneswar, with the entire oil industry, in which Indian Oil, BPC, HPC, from the downstream, from the upstream, OIL, ONGC, including EIL and Baman Lori, they have joined hands, and the classes and everything has been started in that for Skill Development Institute at Bhubaneswar. That will go in a long way again for development of various people and making people skilled, so that for the betterment of the country, for betterment of their own, as well as for betterment of the society. Then we have, again, as I've shared with you, this is something which, again, for the multi-skill development institution we have, and we are imparting the training that was a full-time course, which I showed you earlier. Now, these are the part-time things, 3 months training, which we provide to the various students and others, so that they become skilled over a period of time. So far, around 400 plus students have been given training, and they are really doing very well. Then we have this survey, Shantu Nirmaya, what we are doing in this particular thing is that this was launched in 2012, and we are covering about 9 villages closer to Digboy, in which we are providing vaccination and other things. So far, about 4,000 human beings and 45,000 animals have been treated, and around 1,036 number of vaccinations have been done. These are all type of activities which basically are required for the health purposes of the human being as well as for the animals. Then we have Shiksha, in fact, to provide the softer skills to the teachers of the nearby locations. What we are doing is that we are providing trainings to them through various institutions so that their skills, softer skills are developed on various things, and they can pull the students. In fact, these are all behavioral type as well as some technical technical education to the teachers, so that they can pull the students and the students remain with them for taking education. So this particular activity was started in 2012, and so far we have trained about 355 teachers from 42 villages, and it is being appreciated in the northeast part quite a lot. Then in addition to that, this is another area of our responsibility towards the nation, that whatever the talent in the form of sports which come, that also is being taken care by us by providing the various type of inputs to them, various type of training, various type of kits and other things, just to take care so that these heroes are not left behind. Because ultimately once, if somebody gets selected in national games or something like that, and then he doesn't move forward, so they remain unsung heroes. So that is where basically we are trying to work it out on that particular thing, and we have been doing this particular activity quite a lot, that providing them various type of help, various type of stipend and other things to take care of their needs. More than that, as you know that in Assam, this particular problem is quite a lot in female children. This is cleft is basically as that lip get broken and upper lip get broken. So this particular thing we are taking care there, and we are trying to cover as many as patient possible in our hospitals to impart them this particular sort of treatment. And you can see that the maximum of this particular thing comes between the age of 1 to 5. And in case it is taken care at that time, I think it can give a smile to the children and more so to the female children. Coming to the schools under the refinery townships, you can see it from here. As I said, that it is not that it is only for our employees. You can see that in all the central schools, whatever we have, few of the schools, you can see the data, that more than 72% of the children are from outside. They are not our employees. And that is what basically is the purpose, that outside students be given also the education as to what they deserve. Another thing which we cover is under our Indian Oil Foundation, in which we are maintaining various monuments of important nature to the country and to the nation. And these particular things are totally being taken care by Indian Oil for maintenance in coordination with the ASI as well as National Cultural Fund. And then recently what we have done is that in Varanasi, we have undertaken this particular activity, some activity under CSR and some activity under non-CSR. If you see under CSR is a very small 5 projects which we have taken, that is 5 ton per a day capacity, each has 10 in the city, whereas one integrated waste to fuel unit for 200 ton per day municipal solid waste capacity. It is under known CSR, 70 crore is being spent for that particular activity, and it will go in a long way. Once it is established there, probably the oil industry as well as we all of us will go in a long way to implement this waste to fuel across the country. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Y.K. Gupta. Now I request Mr. Arun Singh from Bharat Petroleum.
Can you show that audio visual?
Dreams of a better life. Fueling the nation's dreams is Bharat Petroleum. Our constant endeavor to be a model corporate entity with social responsibility, committed to energizing lives through sustainable development. Our work sharply focused on thrust areas. What is drought? Dry wells, thirsty villages, women walking hours in search of water, barren land, agriculture dead, villages deserted. Project Boon in many states of the country. An endeavor to harvest rainwater. Work carried out in partnership with experienced agencies. Work for and with the villagers. Dynamic action to meet local needs. Check dams, ponds, tanks and wells. In some places, water bodies needed cleaning. In others, trees needed to be planted. Ponds and tanks were readied to store more water. Work done in the last 5 years has transformed some 150 villages.
पाण्याला पाहून एकदम मन भरून गेला ना.
ಈಗ ಈ ಕಡೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಬೋರ್ವೆಲ್ಗಳೆಲ್ಲ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಪಿಕಪ್ ಆಗಿದೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ನೀರು ಕುಡಿಯೋಕೆ ಎಲ್ಲಕ್ಕೂ ಅನುಕೂಲ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ.
Water in a village means livelihood, health, nutrition, education, overall development.
फार्मर माइग्रेट नहीं कर रहा है क्योंकि अब वो अपने ही गांव में अपनी खुद की जमीन कस पाता है.
Lakhs of children in our country are reluctant to attend school. Attendance in any case is not a guarantee of education. Quality education, a task carried out in partnership with school administration and families.
पहले जैसे जो नहीं आता था वो अच्छा से आ रहा है बच्चा लोगों को.
These students of standard 1 to 5 were lagging behind in studies. Special camps held before or after school hours to help them befriend the alphabet and numbers. Classes laced with fun. From alphabet to words, words to sentences, self-learning becomes easy.
पण हमसे मुलगे शिकणार तर काहीतरी बनणार असं आम्हाला सपने आहे.
Understanding science with games and activities, teachers are trained also. The goal is to strengthen the system.
They have motivated the student, and not only for the student, even for the teachers also.
The right to education, libraries in schools, books to add hues to dreams and learning. Digital schools where children learn computers. A level playing field in society. More than 5.5 lakh children have been given quality education during the last 5 years. A commitment towards every section of society. Service with heart in different parts of the nation.
कुछ बच्चे बोलने लगे हैं, कुछ चलने लगे हैं, कुछ रिस्पॉन्ड करने लगे हैं.
A self-sufficient society is one that is skilled. Skills give youth direction, employment, empowerment.
बिजनेस प्लान कुछ तो गवर्नमेंट ऐसा कुछ कंप्यूटर में जॉब मिलते हैं ना, वैसा सोच रहा हूँ.
फिनेंशियल हेल्प होगा और फेमस बन जाएंगे, कुछ ना कुछ बने, ऐसा होता हमको इसलिए.
Skills fuel dreams. Make them possible.
अब अपने पाँव पे हम खड़े हैं, अब अपने घर का भी खर्चा चला सकते हैं, अपना भी खर्चा चला सकते हैं.
अच्छा काम करेंगे, अच्छा पैसा कमाएंगे, जिससे कि हम लोगों की परेशानियां दूर होती रहेंगी.
मुझे सीखना है और मतलब जितना सीख सकते हो उतना सीखना है.
To reach the unreached. In the state of Karnataka are villages home to the primitive tribe of Jenu Kuruba, isolated from development. Health facilities have been made available in vulnerable areas across the country. All action tailor-made to cater to local needs.
ಮಕ್ಕಳಿಗೆಲ್ಲ ಸೂಜಿ ಸುಚ್ಚಿರಿ, ಪೋಲಿಯೋ ಕುಡಿಸಿರಿ ಅಂತ ಎಲ್ಲ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ.
Better health for all, medical facilities for all. The task is challenging.
Change doesn't come in a day. So this program has seen a gradual progress in people picking up the messages that we have been trying to teach.
An endeavor to build a healthy network, Arogya Yojana. 27,000 have already been insured for health and accident. The slogan of Swachh Bharat has also been raised. Across 7 states, 26 districts, toilets have been constructed in schools. The responsibility of their maintenance for the next 3 years has also been shouldered.
और लाइट जला के उसको भाग जाते हैं, वो आराम से भाग जाता है.
Here, solar lamps to scare away wild elephants. Community development projects in more than 100 villages, each village with its own unique problems: energy, water, education, health, the many faces of poverty. In each village, execution with experienced partners, enabling work for and with villagers.
तो हम लोग बहुत खुश है, अभी तकलीफ नहीं है, बहुत सारे उन्नति हुआ है.
Kochi Refinery of Bharat Petroleum, always a step ahead in development, be it education, health or community development. The foundation of BPCL's work is its partnership with reputed organizations. Special emphasis on capacity building of stakeholders.
अब हम दूसरे कॉर्पोरेट से भी जब बात करते हैं तो उनको इस भागीदारी का उदाहरण देते हैं कि इस तरह से काम किया जा सकता है.
Every member of the Bharat Petroleum family contributing to nation building one way or another.
We are not mere funding partners. We actually partner with the organization and take it forward along with them as part of our larger commitment to society.
National and international awards for the work done for energizing the nation.
नई उमंग है, हम नई उमंग है, नई उमंग है, हम नई उमंग है, सेवा में तैयार हम रहे, नई सीख से बेहतर.
Not crutches to lean on, but enabling, strengthening, guiding, fueling the nation's dreams is Bharat Petroleum.
हम भारत पेट्रोलियम है.
Thank you, Mr. Arun Singh. Now I request Mr. Singh to tell us about the activities of the CSR in his company.
Thank you, Dr. Kamal, my co-panelists. Good evening to everybody here. I'm the last speaker. Try to make it as swift as possible. Request HPC needs no introductions. Just some few facts. Last year's performance. HP gas, which we represent here, we've grown into a 5 million metric ton. And the takeaway is that we are in the service of the nation to the extent of supplying 10 lakh cylinders every day to the public in India. As explained by Mr. Y.K. Gupta, we have also participated in releasing the about 15.6 LPG connections under CSR. We are part of the Pradhan Mantri Ujjwala Yojana, which is aimed at releasing 5 crore LPG connections to the ladies, women folk of the urban and rural areas, economically backward people of our society. This is a very unique feature which HPC undertakes. We call it the Suraksha Sanchetna Abhiyan. About 300 to 350 villages and about 4.5 to 5 lakh households are covered every year. We undertake a village fair concept to spread safety awareness among public, as well as educating the rural women on the safe usage of LPG as cooking fuel. We also explain to them the health hazards of conventional fuels like biomass, coal, etc. And it is on a village fair, fun fair with door-to-door contact, lucky draw, prizes, street play, processions, etc. It's a highly successful thing which we started in 2011 and is still going on. HPC is touching a lot of lives in a lot of areas under CSR. We have a structured approach. These are the projects which we are doing for the last 8-9 years on a regular basis, from educating the girl child to midday meal program, computer literacy for children with special needs, skill development for livelihood of school dropouts from poor families, mobile medical vans, HIV AIDS awareness programs for our trucking community. Then Dil Without Bill, where children, small children with congenital diseases are funded for their, surgeries, etc. And generally towards community development. Thank you very much for this patient listening. Thank you, sir.
I sincerely regret for the power failure in the well-directed session. In last 2 days, we did not have any power failure. Everything went on well. But in the last, something has happened. But it doesn't matter. I think Mr. Singh's voice was so loud that everyone was able to listen to him. So friends, we have come to know about the initiatives taken by oil companies toward their social responsibility. We have found that the companies have spent mostly on the development of the community with a special focus on education, health, hygiene, skill development, so that more and more employment can be generated, protecting the national heritage monuments and other good activities of the society, just to minimize the negative effects which might have been done by the industry for the society. The well-driven and focused social responsibilities has a potential for the community development and keeping conducive environment for the industry to grow. The concept has the potential to generate a huge amount of money also. And I would like to share with you that in last year, 2015-16, 7,000 crore rupees were spent on the social responsibilities activities by all the companies in the private and public sector. So we can have a huge round of applause for all the companies spending a good amount of money for the social cause. They have spent this 7,000 crore rupees in 1,800 projects nationwide. So I wish the companies to produce more and more, grow and more, they should earn more and more benefits so that there will be more and more benefit to the society. This is exactly what the session intends for. All the companies represented on the session today have been deeply involved in the corporate social initiatives across the healthcare, education to keep the environment healthy and so much more, having a deep impact on the society. Thank you so much.